Ever wonder how some folks sit down with their coffee first thing in the morning, tap a few keys on their computer, and by day's end they've got this smile that just screams, "Life won again today"? Have you ever asked yourself, can I do that too? Be free, live life on my own terms, work from anywhere, and learn something new every morning? In this video, we're gonna take you into a mysterious and thrilling world where every day is a new beginning, every moment a new decision, and every experience a new story. This ain't just about making money, it's about that freedom every person secretly yearns for. But can everyone walk that path? Is this journey easy? And the biggest question, if you bail on this video now, will you be closing the door to your dreams forever? If you're looking for a change in your life, if you want a fresh start, then make a promise. Watch this video all the way to the end. 'Cause maybe, just maybe, this is the moment your life takes a new turn. This book has 20 chapters, and each one holds a unique insight. In this video, we're gonna give you a quick peek into each chapter so you can grasp its real lessons. So let's dive into Chapter 1, The Foundation. Chapter 1, The Foundation. Every morning, when the sun comes up, it gives us a fresh chance. A chance to do something different, learn something new, and maybe even shape our own destiny. But most folks just don't recognize this opportunity. They stick to the same old routine, starting their day by someone else's rules and hitting the hay exhausted, as if life's just a chore. But deep down, there's always that nagging question, is this all there is? Can I truly live life on my own terms? Can I do work that gives me freedom, excitement, and a good income? This question is what kicks off this book. The author's journey began like anyone else's, a job, limited time, and a ton of responsibilities. But he had this restlessness, a desire to do something more, something bigger, and feel truly independent. This restlessness led him to the world we call day trading. But this book ain't about teaching the cold, dry process of trading. It's the story of one person's fight to free himself. This book is for anyone who's not just looking for money in their work, but also purpose, energy, and joy. The author wants to show us that with the right mindset, discipline, and a hunger to learn, anyone can walk this path. But he also makes it clear that it's not an easy road. There are ups and downs, confusion, fear, but most importantly, there's self-discovery. This foundation isn't just an introduction, it's a door opening to the life you once dreamed of, but never started. Now it's up to you. Will you walk through that door, or will you leave it closed, just like always? Chapter 2, Essential Tools and Platforms for Trading. Imagine you're a warrior getting ready for a huge battle, but you've got no sword, no armor. Can you win? No way. It's the same deal when someone steps into the world of trading. First, you gotta gather your weapons. These weapons are the right tools, trustworthy platforms, and the technical support you can't survive in the market without. In this chapter, the author explains in super simple language what we need to become a successful trader. First up, you need a computer or laptop that's fast, reliable, and can run all day without a hitch. Along with that, a solid internet connection is crucial because the market changes in a second and a moment's delay can flip your decisions. Next comes the trading platform. That's the place where you can watch the market, place orders, and track your positions. But it's not just software, it's the window through which you're seeing the whole world. So picking the right platform is super important, one that's fast, transparent, and easy to use. The author also explains how the number of screens can affect your decisions and why having 2 or 3 monitors makes the experience way better. But with all that, the most vital thing is your mindset, cause machines only work when a human is fully focused behind them. This chapter doesn't just list out the gear, it also explains how being properly prepared gives you confidence. It inspires those who think you need a huge pile of cash or expensive gadgets to start trading. The author teaches that you can start with limited resources as long as your preparation is genuine. Because when you've got the right tools, the fight is just about winning, not about being scared. Chapter 3, How to Pick the Right Stocks. In the world of trading, hundreds of stocks zoom up and down every day, like a marketplace where every voice is trying to buy or sell something. In this kind of atmosphere, it's super important to figure out which stock is right for you. If you just pick any stock blind, it'd be like shooting an arrow in the dark and hoping you hit the target. In this chapter, the author teaches that picking the right stock ain't gambling. It's a well thought out decision. For this, you gotta pay attention to a few signals, like a stock's volume, its price fluctuations, and how much momentum it has. The author explains that a good stock is one that sees millions of shares bought and sold every day, so you don't have trouble getting in or out. Besides that, stocks with rapid price changes offer more opportunities because they have potential, but also risk. So this balance is super important. The author also makes us understand that not every stock is worth trading every single day. Every morning you gotta look at the market's direction and decide which stocks have life in them today, which ones can be today's story. For this, he simply explains terms like gap up and gap down so you can understand what's unusual in certain stocks. But amidst these technicalities, there's a deeper message hidden. Picking the right stock means understanding yourself and your goals. Because not every stock is right for your strategy. Just like every road isn't for every traveler, every stock isn't for you. That's why the selection process isn't just about numbers. It's also built on understanding and experience. The author presents this understanding to us in simple language so we can recognize stocks, understand the story behind them, and then make a well-thought-out move instead of just following the crowd. Chapter 4. How to create a successful trading business plan. Every big dream only becomes a reality when it's backed by a solid plan. And when we're talking about a journey as volatile as trading, planning isn't just an option, it's a necessity. Trading without a plan is like a ship heading out to sea without a map, relying on the direction of the waves. In this chapter, the author explains in a very simple and practical way what a successful trading business plan should look like. First, it's crucial to decide what you want from trading. Do you want to pursue it full-time, or are you looking for extra income? Next comes setting goals, meaning how much profit do you want to make each month or year? But when setting goals, it's super important to stay grounded in reality. After that comes capital management phase, which is about how much money you'll start trading with and how much risk you're willing to take. A smart trader never puts all their capital in one place. Instead, they divide it into smaller parts so that even if they make a mistake once, the whole plan doesn't fall apart. When planning, the author also advises keeping a written record before and after every trade why you made a certain decision. This helps you understand your own behavior and improve over time. The most important thing is that this plan shouldn't just be on paper, but reflected in your daily actions. The author teaches us that a business plan isn't just a way to make profit, it's a guide that shows you the way, even in tough times. And when you have this clarity about why you're trading, how you're doing it, and when to do what, that's when you can confidently walk on the path that leads you to success. Chapter 5. A new trader's experience and case study. When someone first steps into the world of trading, their mind is filled with both excitement and fear. They hope for quick success, but as they face the real market, they realize this journey ain't as easy as it looks from the outside. In this chapter, the author shares the story of a new trader who was just like any ordinary person, worked a job, dreamed dreams, and wanted to do something different. He read books about trading, watched videos, and then mustered up the courage to open his account. On the first day, he traded some stocks and luckily made a little profit. This win felt like magic to him, and he thought every day would be like this now. But the very next day, the market showed him his first truth. He made a hasty, wrong decision and took a loss. This hit was small, but the impact was deep. He understood that just having information wasn't enough. Discipline and mental balance were also crucial. After that, he started writing down his experiences, the reason for every trade, its outcome, and what he learned. Slowly, he started seeing patterns in his mistakes. He learned how greed screws up decisions and how fear steals opportunities. He also realized that trading isn't just a game of numbers. It's a process of understanding yourself. This case study clearly shows that no matter how much a new trader reads, the real education happens when they step into the market and turn every loss into a lesson. Through this experience, the author demonstrates that initial losses are natural, but if we accept them and learn from them, these very experiences can become the biggest capital for the future. This chapter touches the heart of every new trader because it's not just facts. It's a true glimpse into a person's emotions, illusions, and struggles. Chapter 6. Day Trading Fundamentals and Strategies. When someone first steps into the world of day trading, it all seems like a mysterious maze. Sometimes charts ebb and flow, sometimes numbers come and go, and there's confusion all around. But when you understand it deeply, you realize that behind this complexity lies a beautiful rhythm, a system that runs with the right thinking and strategy. In this chapter, the author lays out the fundamentals of day trading in very simple terms. He explains that day trading means buying and selling a stock within the same day to profit from small price fluctuations. But this process doesn't rely on luck, it depends on a solid strategy. The author says that the first necessity is understanding time. The market's opening hours are the most active when stocks move rapidly up and down. So, a trader should not only respect time, but also make decisions with full alertness during these hours. Next comes strategy. Some traders adopt a breakout strategy, where they wait for that moment. The sentence seems incomplete in the original text, but I will continue with the implied meaning. When the stock's price breaks out of a certain range. Other strategies include scalping, aiming for small quick profits, or momentum trading, riding the wave of strong price movements. The author emphasizes that no strategy works until it's adopted with discipline and practice. He also warns that not every strategy is right for every stock or every day. A true trader is one who listens to the market's heartbeat, feels it, and then adapts themselves accordingly. In this chapter, the author also conveys the message that day trading isn't just a game of money. It's a blend of mindset, patience, and understanding. Only when you deeply adopt these fundamentals can you understand the market's language and prepare yourself for a journey where every day brings a new challenge and every decision brings a new lesson. Chapter 7: ABCD Pattern Trading. In the world of trading, when you try to understand the waves of charts, some patterns repeat themselves again and again, as if the market is telling a story with its gestures. One such interesting and simple pattern is the ABCD pattern, which, when understood, can not only help a trader make better decisions, but also prepare them by anticipating the market's moves. In this chapter, the author explains that the ABCD pattern essentially represents the natural movement of the market, where prices move in one direction, then briefly go in the opposite direction, and then return to the original direction again. It's divided into 4 parts. The A to B section shows the time when prices rise rapidly, meaning there's an upsurge in the market. After that, the B to C section shows the time when profit taking occurs and prices come down a bit. Then comes the most important part, the journey from C to D, where prices start rising again in the same direction as before. This is the opportunity when a trader makes their entry and can grab the chance to make a profit at the right time. But the author warns that this pattern, as simple as it looks, demands equal attention and discipline. Trusting the ABCD pattern every time is only smart when you've correctly identified it, analyzed market conditions, and have patience. A special thing about this pattern is that it doesn't just give technical signals, but also psychological ones. It shows how the market is thinking, where it's pausing, and where it's preparing to run again. The author also shows through examples how a new trader, by understanding this pattern, made their trading strategy more precise. The essence of this chapter is that if you learn to listen to the market's language, it will show you the way itself. And the ABCD pattern is a clear sound of that language that leads every trader towards stability, clarity, and confidence. Chapter 8: Bull Flag Momentum Trading. If you pay close attention to market movements, you'll notice some signals that keep coming back, just like changing seasons in nature. Recognizing these signals is a mark of a skilled trader. One such famous and reliable pattern is bull flag momentum trading, which the author explains very simply in this chapter. A bull flag is a visual pattern where first, the stock's price rises rapidly, then for a short while it stabilizes in a narrow range, like a flag momentarily pausing before fluttering. After this, it suddenly shoots up rapidly again, and this is the moment when a smart trader enters. The author says that to identify this pattern, you need to get used to charts. But the most important thing is to see it not just with your eyes but with understanding. The real magic of the bull flag works when the stability in price comes with low volume chill, and then suddenly there's a breakout with high volume. This is where the trader needs to make a decision with both caution and confidence. But this pattern, as attractive as it seems, also hides risks. That's why the author repeatedly emphasizes that trusting any pattern without a plan and without a stop loss can be detrimental. In this chapter, he also shares the story of a new trader who first made a profit by seeing this pattern, but then, in haste, kept using the same strategy repeatedly and suffered losses. This is why the author says patterns help you, but thinking, goal, discipline, and experience are what sustain you. A bull flag is not just a technical signal, but a symbol of the belief that, after every pause, a new upward flight is possible. When you understand it, you don't just see charts, but the sentence seems to trail off in the original text, but the implied meaning is clear. You see the deeper market dynamics. You see how a trader tries to read the market's moves in reverse. Chapter 9. Top Reversal Trading. In this chapter, the author explains that the real secret of top reversal trading is understanding the language of the chart that ordinary people ignore. When a stock consistently climbs and then suddenly shows weakness in that upward momentum, as if it's feeling tired after reaching a peak, that's a signal that the market might change direction. To catch this shift, a trader needs to look for specific patterns like double top, head and shoulders, and it demands both experience. He gave an interesting example of how a new trader, seeing a stock at its peak, rushed into a trade, but without confirming the reversal, he got stuck. And then, when he was patient, waited for the right signals, and then entered, that same strategy became profitable for him. The author emphasizes that the most crucial thing in top reversal trading is mental balance because in this, you have to go against the crowd, and that's only possible if you have a clear plan and confidence. The core message of this chapter is that challenging the market at its peak isn't easy, but if you recognize the right signals at the right time, you can not only think differently from the crowd, but also seize opportunities where others get confused. Top reversal trading teaches that to win in the market, it's not necessary to be the fastest, it's necessary to be the most alert. And only then can you make your flight even in a falling market. Chapter 10. Bottom Reversal Trading. When the market's movement slows down, stocks continuously fall, and everyone, disheartened, thinks there's nothing left, that's precisely where the seed of a new beginning sprouts. Bottom reversal trading is this art of hope and understanding, where a true trader finds opportunities even in the market's weakest hour. In this chapter, the author explains in a very emotional and inspiring way how a stock that's been consistently falling suddenly stabilizes at a specific level and then starts moving in a new direction from there. This is that moment called bottom reversal tray, when the first ray of light appears after darkness. The author explains that recognizing this pattern requires patience and deep understanding. When a stock consistently falls but then the pace of the decline slows down, the candles get smaller, and there's some movement in volume, that's a signal that the downward journey might be over. If a strong green candle forms after this, and volume increases, it could confirm the reversal. But the author warns that haste is the biggest enemy in bottom reversal. Often seeing falling prices, we think it won't fall any further, but entering without a clear signal can be a big risk. He also shares an emotional example, the story of a trader who, after days of losses, had lost faith in himself, but then one day, he identified a bottom reversal at the right time, and that very trade brought his spirit back to life. The sentence seems to trail off in the original text, but the implied meaning is clear. It rekindled his spirit and confidence. When you not only become a better trader, but also a stronger person, the author's message is clear. Only those who can remain stable amidst the fall can fly high again. Chapter 11. Moving Average Trend Trading. Market movements are sometimes like fierce storms and sometimes like calm waves. In this changing environment, it's tough to find stability and direction, but the moving average is a tool that can show the way even amidst these ups and downs. In this chapter, the author explains the concept of moving average trend trading in a very simple, emotional, and inspiring way. A moving average is essentially a calculation that shows the average price of a stock over previous days, and its purpose is to identify which direction the market is heading. When a stock is trading above its moving average, it's a signal that it's in an upward trend, and when it goes below, it could be a sign of weakness. The author explains that there are several types of moving averages, like simple moving average and exponential moving average, but none of them work magic. The real magic happens when a trader understands and applies them correctly. The purpose of a moving average isn't to tell you where to buy or sell, but rather to give you a sense of the rhythm and momentum in which the market is flowing. The author shares the story of a new trader who used to get tangled in every small change, bothered by every price jolt, but when she included the moving average in her charts, she started getting a clear perspective. Now she didn't need to react to every small fluctuation. she became capable of catching bigger trends, and her confidence slowly returned. The most beautiful message of this chapter is that the moving average isn't just a line, but the thread that connects the scattered emotions of the market and gives you direction. When you understand this signal deeply, you not only make better decisions, but also avoid getting carried away by emotions. In this chapter, the author presents VWAP volume weighted average price as an amazing tool that plays a crucial role as a stable center, especially in day-long trading activities. When a stock is trading above VWAP, it's a sign that there's high demand for that stock, and when it's below VWAP, it indicates that the market is giving less importance to that stock. VWAP trading isn't just a technical signal, it's also a way to understand market behavior and thinking. The author explains that many institutional investors and experienced traders use VWAP as the basis for their decisions because the sentence trails off again in the original text, but the implied meaning is clear. It helps them make informed decisions and align with institutional flow. When he started looking at VWAP on his chart, he understood for the first time at what levels he should go with the crowd and when to stop. Chapter 12. VWAP Trading. VWAP opened his eyes. He realized that trading wasn't just a game of buying and selling, it was a combination of timing and patience. The essence of this chapter is that the VWAP isn't just a line. It's a mirror reflecting the market soul. When you learn to read that soul, you start trading not just with numbers but with emotions. The author says that VWAP reminds you that going with the crowd isn't always right. Sometimes, hovering around that average is what gives you stability and clarity. This chapter also teaches that when everything feels unstable, VWAP gives you that stability, making you feel confident in your decisions. And every trade isn't just a transaction. It becomes a thoughtful choice. Chapter 13. Support and Resistance Trading. The market is like a flowing river that sometimes rises and sometimes falls. But in every rise and fall, there are certain banks where it stops, pauses, and then changes direction. Support and resistance are two such banks that become guiding pillars for every trader. In this chapter, the author has explained these two concepts with such simplicity and emotional connection that it doesn't just feel like a chart discussion, but like a truth of life itself. Support is the level where a stock stops falling, like a seed lying on the ground that can't go any lower but is ready to sprout and rise from there. And resistance is the ceiling where a stock pauses while climbing, like a bird that lands on a tree branch after taking flight, stopping to think. The author explains that identifying these levels isn't magic, it's the result of practice, observation, and patience. When a stock repeatedly turns back at the same level, that spot becomes an emotional center. People's hopes, fears, and greed gather there. Once, an emotional new trader saw a stock go above resistance and bought it immediately, but it fell shortly after because it was a false breakout. Later, when he learned to read charts wisely and saw every support and resistance as the market's language, his decisions began to change. He realized that these levels aren't just lines, but the boundaries of the market's emotions. The author's message is clear. Every pause, whether it's downward or upward, signals a new beginning. Red to green trading. Sometimes, suddenly, that same stock starts to glow green, as if someone breathed new life into it. Red to green trading is an exciting story of this very transformation. It's a moment when the flame of hope ignites from despair, and a trader regains confidence in their decisions. In this chapter, the author explains that a red to green move is when a stock opens with a decline at the start of the day, but then slowly recovers, moving above its opening price and trading in the green. This can become a very powerful indicator if understood at the right time. The author has explained this not just as a technical shift, but has presented it as an emotional turning point. When the market opens, fear and unease often dominate, but then some stocks gradually regain their footing. It's like a person who wakes up in a bad state, but then surprises everyone with their resilience as the day progresses. Similarly, when stocks go from red to green, they not only signal a technical change, but also demonstrate how market sentiment can suddenly shift. The author also shares an inspiring story of a trader who was consistently incurring losses and had lost heart in his decisions. But one day he saw a stock make a red to green move, and for the first time he exercised patience throughout. This entire chapter teaches that the most valuable thing in the market is the ability to recognize change. The red to green movement doesn't just change a color, It signifies a shift in mindset, patience, and decision-making ability. The author says that if you can seize that moment when hope is born from fear, you'll not only become a better trader, but also learn to choose the right path in life's difficult moments. This is the true power of red to green trading, a journey from darkness to light. Chapter 15. Opening Range Breakout Strategy. Every morning, when the market opens, within a few minutes there's a mix of anxiety, hope, and uncertainty. In such an environment, the opening range breakout strategy is like a sun that pierces through the initial darkness and provides clarity. In this chapter, the author explains the importance of that first 15 to 30-minute range where the market shows its true colors. This is the time when buyers and sellers test their strength and prices fluctuate within a limited range. But as soon as this range breaks, it signals the market's true direction. The author explains that this strategy is very effective for those who are looking for a clear and precise signal right at the start. If the price breaks the range upwards, it can be a strong buying signal. And if it breaks downwards, it could warn of a potential decline. However, merely breaking the range isn't enough. The author repeatedly emphasizes that understanding volume, momentum too, and the emotional state is equally important. Once, a young trader adopted this strategy without preparation and, after some initial successful trades, experienced continuous losses. But when he started carefully studying the range, connecting every breakout with volume and emotional flow, that's when he truly benefited. This chapter isn't just about technical knowledge, it also talks about mindset. The opening range breakout is, in fact, the first clue that tells you what tune the market will be singing today. The author says that just as the direction of the day is determined after the sun rises, similarly, the breaking of this initial range can give you the direction for your day. All it takes is patience, practice, and an understanding of emotion. This strategy teaches you how to gain clarity at the beginning and avoid day-long complexities, allowing you to make confident decisions. Chapter 16. Trading Style. According to time of day, every day begins with new hope, new energy, and new possibilities. But have you ever thought that throughout the day, the market's heartbeat changes with every hour? Just as the morning is fast-paced, the afternoon calm, and the evening filled with excitement again, each trading hour has its own temperament. In this chapter, the author explains, in a very interesting and emotional way, that a successful trader is one who understands the nature of each part of the day and changes their strategy accordingly. In the first hour of the morning, the market is like an overflowing river, fast, chaotic, but full of opportunities. This is when strategies like the opening range breakout or red to green are most effective. But if you lack patience or trade without a plan during this time, it can exhaust and confuse you. The author also explains that the afternoon often slows down market momentum. This is when big players wait and the emotions of retail investors subside. During such times, there's low volume, slow momentum, and more deceptive moves, so exercising patience during trading at this time is wise. In the evening, meaning the last hour, the market gathers its energy once again. This is the moment when, after a day's struggle, the market makes its final move. And here, experienced traders make their ultimate decisions with their full day's understanding. The author also clarifies that to utilize every time slot, mental preparation, discipline, and recognizing one's own energy are very important. If you are an early riser, morning trading might be better for you. But if you make slow and deliberate decisions, the afternoon or evening might be more suitable. This chapter doesn't just talk about time, it also teaches how adapting yourself to that time is an art. The author says that just as every time in life has a meaning, similarly, every moment in trading brings a signal with it. But what's needed is to recognize that signal, wait for it patiently, and then make a courageous decision at the right time. When you understand the time of day, you grasp the market's pulse, and then every trade becomes a thought, an understanding, and a balance. Chapter 17. How to create your own strategy. One thing is common in every successful trader's story: their own strategy. No one can achieve lasting success in the market until they create a personalized strategy aligned with their experience, temperament, and way of thinking. In this chapter, the author has explained this journey not only technically, but also as a journey of self-discovery and mental maturity. When a new trader starts, they adopt others' strategies, repeat what they learned from books, and accept tips seen on social media. But gradually they understand that what works for someone else might not work for them, because every person's emotions, patience, decision-making ability and fears are different. The author explains that creating your own strategy is an art, and it begins with self-reflection. First, it's important to know when you prefer to trade, what your risk tolerance is, whether you prefer fast-paced moves or calm ones, in which you'll see both your inner weaknesses and strengths. Once, a young trader tried various strategies for several months, but when he experienced continuous losses, he began to question himself. What do I like? Where am I going wrong? What kind of moves do I understand? These questions led him to his own strategy, one that wasn't in any book but was born from the depths of his experiences. When he relied on it, his decisions improved, and the results started looking positive. This chapter teaches that a strategy isn't just a framework of technical signals, it's a reflection of your inner thoughts, your experiences, and your emotional understanding. The author says that creating your own strategy is like learning to talk to the market in your own language, one that doesn't involve imitation but rather truth that comes from the soul. This truth sets you apart in the market crowd and gradually transforms you from an ordinary trader into a confident and balanced decision maker. Chapter 18. Step-by-step process of a successful trade. A successful trade isn't a game of magic or luck. Rather, it's the result of a clear, well-thought-out process where every step is taken with a purpose. In this chapter, the author tells the story of such a journey, which begins with a simple idea and reaches confidence and satisfaction. This journey shows how every successful trade is backed by deep preparation, precise analysis, and emotional control. This process begins with a clear plan. The author explains that before taking any trade, it's important to determine what you're looking for, why this opportunity is suitable for you, and when you'll exit this trade. This plan shouldn't be based solely on emotions or guesswork, but on clear data, chart patterns, and past experiences. The second step is choosing the right time to enter. Many new traders either jump in too early or too late. The author explains that an experienced trader, as soon as they see a signal consistent with their plan, enters without hesitation, because they have already decided what to do. Next comes setting the stop loss and target. This is the safety net that prevents you from being swept away by the storm of emotions. The author says that trading without a stop loss is like driving a car without brakes. Then comes the time to manage the trade. Many people either exit too early upon seeing profit or wait even after losses increase. But a successful trader monitors their decisions at every moment and doesn't hesitate to change the strategy if needed. The final step is post-trade analysis. The author explains that every trade, whether profitable or at a loss, brings a lesson. When you record it in your diary and understand its reasons, you can make better decisions next time. This chapter teaches us that trading isn't an instant action, but a calm, balanced, and disciplined process. The author says that when you take every trade as a responsibility, when you put thought behind every decision, then step by step, you reach that peak where confidence, balance, and success await you. Chapter 19. The path forward for beginner traders. When someone steps into the world of trading for the first time, their eyes are full of dreams, their heart full of enthusiasm, and their mind full of countless questions. But as they progress, they realize that this path, however attractive it seems, is equally complex, challenging, and emotional. In this chapter, the author addresses all those beginner traders who might currently be caught between confusion, failures, and self-doubt. He has tried to give them direction that can teach them clarity instead of confusion, confidence instead of fear, and patience instead of impulsiveness. The author first asks them to accept that making mistakes in the initial phase is natural. Every successful trader's journey begins with failures. The only difference is that some people give up and some turn every setback into a learning experience. He says that you have to view trading as a skill, not a source of immediate income. Just like a musician or an athlete practices daily, the same dedication is expected from a trader. After this, the author talks about discipline, the habit of keeping a diary, analyzing every trade, and most importantly, the art of sticking to rules. He says that if you keep copying others' strategies, you'll never recognize your inner strength. Beginner traders should gradually develop their own unique style that suits their temperament, time, and thinking. This chapter also shares the story of a young trader who initially broke down with every loss, But when he learned to accept his mistakes and considered each one an opportunity for improvement, his mindset changed within a few months. He realized that while the initial period is indeed difficult, if you treat it as a journey where you improve yourself at every step, keep learning, and never give up, this path will not only give you profit but also confidence, patience, and a new way of thinking. This is the path that can transform an ordinary beginning into an extraordinary future. Chapter 20: 7 Fundamental Principles: Discipline, Patience, Practice, Community, etc. In the world of trading, while technical strategies are crucial, even more important are the fundamental principles that provide a strong foundation for any trader. In this final chapter, the author shares those 7 fundamental principles that can make anyone a successful and balanced trader. These principles not only provide the strength to survive in the market, but also help bring clarity and balance to every aspect of life. The first principle is discipline. The author says that a good trader is one who doesn't deviate from their plan, no matter how tempting the market may seem. Discipline means following your rules and making your decisions. The second principle is patience. Can you avoid rushing? Patience not only prevents mistakes, but also gives you the strength to wait for the right opportunity. The third is practice. No one can learn trading just by reading. They have to get into the field and gain experience. The author advises trying to improve yourself every day, even if it's just by writing small notes. The fourth is self-reflection, analyzing every decision, accepting your mistakes and learning from them. This is the element that sets you apart from the crowd. The fifth principle is flexibility. The market doesn't always move according to your thoughts, but when you can adapt your strategy over time, you become resilient. The sixth principle is community. When you fight alone, you might get tired, but when you learn from others and share your experiences, this journey becomes simpler and more inspiring. A good community not only provides knowledge, but also emotional support. And finally, the seventh and deepest principle is confidence. When you believe in yourself, you rise above fear. This confidence builds gradually, with every small decision, every lesson, and every challenge overcome. The author says that this confidence is the light that shows the way in every darkness. In this chapter, the author has shared these principles not just as knowledge, but as life experiences. This chapter teaches us that techniques and data will keep changing, but if you internalize these 7 principles, you'll not only become a better trader, but also a calm, balanced, and purposeful human being. This is the end that points towards a new beginning, a journey where you will make yourself better every day. So, these were the 20 chapters of this book, from which we learned a lot. When you take charge of your life, when you wake up every morning with new faith, no power in the world can stop you. This video wasn't just about a book. It was the beginning of a mindset that can transform you from ordinary to extraordinary. If you learned something, felt something, changed something today, now is the time to bring that change to life. There's still so much to learn, so much to achieve. If you also have the fire to achieve something, be sure to subscribe to this channel, because every video here is going to change your thinking. Like this video, comment on what you liked the most, and share it with those who are looking for light in their lives. Next time, we'll meet again with a new book, a new mindset, and new inspiration.